Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. It is one of my favorite times of year and we are going to be deep diving early into our Halloween decorating. I'm going to be doing a few DIYs for you and just taking you along on my decorating journey so you can watch me organize things and get a little dose of serotonin and hopefully some inspiration. So let's get to it. The first thing I do is kind of reorganize my space. I clear off all of my counters. Yes, Suki is going to help me with this. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the closet and kind of laid out so that I know what I have to work with. I find that as I'm organizing, I'm also inspired to do a little home improvement. And my door was looking a little rough, so guess what? I went ahead and painted it black. It's still wet here, but let me know what you think about it in the comments. I feel like it gave it a nice, fresh, clean look, and I went ahead and topped it off with a simple black glittery twiggy wreath that we found at Michael's. My daughter helped me pick out a couple picks with candy corn and this cute little voodoo character, and we just put those right on top. I think it came out cute. So now, kind of moving on to the rest of the decorations, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the things that I'm not going to use this year and just kind of take a quick inventory as to what I have. When I decorate for Halloween, my style is kind of timeless, a little bit of creep factor, but also simplicity. So I like things to be intriguing, but not overwhelming. This was such a simple project. I had this two-tiered cake platter that I already had around the house that I had scooped up at the Goodwill. And I had this black glittery kind of twiggy grass that I got from Michael's last year. And all I did was layer that on top. I then started kind of placing these cute white foam pumpkins and this cute little crow that I had just until I found the right position for everything. And I think it came out really cute. Adding little details and decorations for Halloween don't have to be overwhelming. It can be fun and you can kind of make it your own style. This was such a simple decoration. This is one of those Dollar Tree candles that I snagged. I melted out the wax and I spray painted it with a black oil finish spray paint and then these twigs. Some of them were found at the Dollar Tree and some of them at Michael's, and I just placed them in a way that I thought looked great and placed that on top of my little breakfast table. You'll see that I have a theme of mostly black and white throughout my house with little pops of color here and there just to give it some interest. Carrying that same thing into my guest bathrooms. So I found this painting at the Goodwill for just a couple of dollars, and this glass green pumpkin, it has kind of a mossy green color, was from the Dollar Tree. All of the rest of these decorations, including the turtle shell, I already had, but all I did was kind of move some things around, place the pumpkin on top, the painting just to give it a little bit more of that old charm, that spooky vibe, and then placed a cute black glittery spider right on top of the tortoise shell. For my main shelf in my living room that sits over my sofa, I already had a mostly black and white vibe going. So I just decided to kind of play off of that by placing a couple of these cute pumpkins that I found at the Dollar Tree, this black beaded wooden circle, an old clock, the crow, and then this cute sign that I actually picked up after Halloween last year on clearance from Big Lots. Again, I feel like sometimes simple, charming little details go such a long way. Now this next project was also so simple, using that same black oiled spray paint on some vases that I found at the Goodwill. I placed in some black glittery bat picks that I found at Michael's and some Dollar Tree Halloween lights. I just think it looks so cute during the daytime as well as at nighttime. This pillow was from Michael's. As you guys know, I love cats, and I just thought it looked so cute on my sofa. And again, it's a small little detail. And guys, I will try to link as many things as I can below in case you're interested in snagging them yourself. I also picked up these really cute new black velvet skulls from the Dollar Tree, but when I did put them out, I felt that they got a little lost and you couldn't tell it was a skull. So I decided to turn it into a little bit of a DIY project. For this first part, I'm just kind of testing, and what I did was take some simple Dollar Tree white acrylic paint and water it down, and just used a paintbrush to kind of start painting it onto the skull. I wasn't really sure where we were gonna go with this. As you can see here, the skull doesn't really let you spread the paint out. Instead, it kind of just absorbs it. So once that paint touches the skull, you have to kind of just let it all soak in. This was probably my favorite DIY project because once that paint started absorbing, you could see all of the details of the skull. I was so pleasantly surprised. And guys, I am not a professional artist. I had no rhyme, reason, or method. I really just started dabbing that paint on there. This is what the skull looks like fully dry. Check out those details. I literally just slapped that paint on there and I feel like it made a huge difference. Here are a few more simple DIY decorations. These are some little lanterns, some hurricane glasses, and things that I had picked up from the craft store and the Goodwill. And all I did was take some simple moss, which you can find at a Dollar Tree or your craft store, and I just started layering the moss in there with the crows. And again, simple details, but I do feel like they add a little spook element when you're decorating. This next project is simple, easy peasy. I already had these moss balls and I did make them by buying a little layer. It's kind of a mat of moss, and using some foam balls and some hot glue just to kind of wrap that moss around the spears. And all I'm doing here is placing some of those same white foam small pumpkins. No rhyme or reason, just kind of playing with them till you find what you think looks best. And just taking the same decorations that I already had at home and just adding a couple little things to give it that interest, that spook factor, and just to kind of theme everything up for Halloween. Oh, and before I forget, kind of a off-topic side tip, when I go to the Goodwill, I keep my eyes open for some morbid or spooky looking black and white books that I can also use to stack around the house as decorations for Halloween. Now, I almost forgot, I did pick up this cute spiderweb table runner from the Dollar Tree as well. I think they were new this year, so I snagged a couple of them when I saw them, and I figured I would put them to good use. Okay, now this project is one that I do pretty much every year, and it wouldn't be Halloween without some bats. So what I'm doing is using kind of a commando style sticky so that way it doesn't damage the paint. And I start with kind of a diagonal line with the biggest of the bats in the middle. And what I'm gonna start doing is kind of slowly fading the bats out from biggest to smallest on the top and the bottom. So here's a little bit better view. These bats were from Amazon, and I will definitely link them below. They were super inexpensive, and they let you kind of fold the wings out easily so that you can kind of create that nice 3D effect. So again, I started with the largest bats in the center, and I'm creating a diagonal pattern where the smallest of the bats are going to end up on the outsides of the diagonal in the corners. You'll see the pattern kind of coming to life where it creates a very realistic looking kind of a swarm of bats pattern, and I just think it looks so fun behind our candelabra and our dining room table. Here is the finished product. Now I love these bats so much, I also decided to put some of them up my fireplace over by the glittery bats. that is pretty much it for the inside. I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to subscribe as part 2, the outside, will be coming soon.